Great culture.
You're live.
Ready? We're live?
Welcome to the THC Show, everybody.
Started playing some drastically hip, and I was like, yeah, I gotta start my video now.
You have the right to do or not do whatever you want to do or don't want to do without any government coercion or prohibition until you interfere with somebody else. If you don't stand up for it, they'll continue to take it away from us. Your children will be a lot less free than we are, and we'll be a lot less free. Thing to go. I was kind of keeping my eye on it, you know. All right. Welcome to the THC Show, everybody.
Gotta light my joint. Good afternoon and welcome to the THC Show. Yeah, I lit my joint up, my 210 timepiece. And if you would like a 2x10 piece, we have different ones, and then I'll show you a picture. This is what you could get. You can choose from any one of those. And if you would like a 2x10 piece, just go in here and to the comments, and if you put in my code, you can save 15% on them. So there you go. Thank you very much. Oh, I gotta light it again. It went out because I was talking. So there you go. It's lit. Isn't that cool? Just right there, right? So welcome to the THC Show. My name is Glenn Wells, and this is With Truth We Hope to Affect Change. And today we have Silas from Urban Meds as our guest. And we've got some things to do right away, so let's just get on to doing this. I've got some videos from the childhood sexual abuse, Braving Healing. I've also got to announce the winner to the Bud Tender Delight. So let's do that right away, and then I'll do some announcements. Oh, wow, it says couldn't what? Oh, whatever. Okay, all right. We're going to go into the wheel here, and we got the real names. So we have Dave McGrath entered, Michelle Joint Cox entered, and Linda Von Spangler. So there you guys all are. Hey, hit it hot, my friend. Yeah, you really can't see. The background today is in my backyard. Yes, I've been growing some cannabis plants. Thank you very much. You hit it hot too, my friend. Yeah, just three. Those are just three. They did pretty good this year. So they're just starting to bud, and I figured I'd throw a picture up of them this year. All right, so let's do the spin. All right, let's go. Click to spin. All right, we're spinning. It's spinning. And we have a winner. Let's see. The winner is, come on, Linda. There you go, Linda. All right, Linda, I will contact you either later today or tomorrow or in the morning and let you know how you can get your free tickets. I will let Brittany also know. So we will get a hold of you. So congratulations. All right, so the 210 piece or 20 piece. Oh, God, love this thing, man. Oh. Wherever you are, you can even burn a small piece of hash on this. Light your joints. Never have to suck butane again. You've always got a light with you. Check them out. All right. And like I said, 15% off if you use 8 out of 10 Glenn and you go to the 210canada.ca website. All right. Get one of these for your friends for Christmas because it's about Christmas time. I know I said the word, right? All right. Let me go and find some announcements because we know there's always announcements to do, right? All right, so let's go to, I know where I put my announcements. I don't have to do that. We'll go right over here to Facebook because I put them in here today. All right, so, hey, for our announcements. All right, Saturday, September the 20th from noon till 7 o'clock at Weeds Farm to Gate Store at 19038 Old Dewdney Trunk. They are having a glass and gathering with Skullfish Glass and Nico Byglass. Also, Weeds, and that's this weekend. This Saturday. I was going to do another one, but it's past the 11th. And also, this Sunday, the Cannabis Substitution Program Mission is doing their monthly barbecue again, and there will be goodie bags also. So behind the Logan Street Homeless Shelter, Mission, BC, 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. On Sunday morning and into the afternoon. So if you can, if you know anybody who could use some help, or if you need some help, come on down. We'll be there. I'll be there too. I'll be wearing my Mission CSP shirt for the first time. I just received that from Simple Simon. So thank you very much to Simon for that. All right. So we've got a couple of videos here. I don't know how much, I don't know how much time I'm going to be taking up, but not much. We've got about 14 minutes or 13 minutes until Silas gets here from Urban Med. So let's, do this one. This one's the truth about offenders. And then there's the one about grooming right after that. So we're going to do this right away. Let's do share screen. Here we go. All right. We're doing this one. And we'll play.
Hearing this example was really hard because I had to accept a really hard truth. And that is often offenders don't look like the monsters we imagine. They're often our neighbors, teachers, preachers, and people in the community. And that's why this conversation matters so much.
And I think that there's still this misconception of what an offender looks like. And there's biases and there's, misplaced ideas of who an offender can be. And so it's very easy for offenders to hide in plain sight.
Hearing this example.
All right, and yeah, you've heard this before. But for the new people, I am a childhood sexual abuse survivor. I won my case with the help of Jeffrey Presler, the law firm that have put out these Braving Healing videos on YouTube. I'm also part of their documentary. We have about 11 minutes of video that are coming up. It's all on me, but it was a rough copy yet, so we'll probably have that one next week. We're just waiting for Mr. Presler to okay the video himself. I've already okayed them, and they're going to be making up a few more with me in it too, so we'll be sharing those with you. Cannabis has helped me with my PTSD from the sexual abuse. So I've now 25, almost 26 years clean from crack with cannabis helping me. I've been smoking cannabis for 44 years since I was about 16, a little bit less during the crack days, but I'm still smoking cannabis. I always use cannabis to make me sleepy at the end of a big binge or something like that. So yeah, cannabis has been there for me today. And also today we will be smoking SweetGrass. Let me put up SweetGrass's logo here. Let's see, where's the banners of media? There it is. Let's put so SweetGrass. There we are. They supply me with my 420 medication here because I have a prescription, but you could also find them online and in the government stores. And if you want to find them online, or you're a medical patient and would like to get a hold of what I'm smoking, because it's damn good. I mean, it is really good. Like, I'm a gray market person, and I love SweetGrass. And to tell you, I'll let this. I mentioned it last week, but I'm going to tell you right now. The show is going on the road, and we are going to SweetGrass next week. So tune in on Tuesday. We will be live from a little place called Weimar, BC. That's Yimir. And that is somewhere between Nelson and Creston, I do believe. I'm going to be driving there on Monday. If you're along that route and got some time to smoke one, let me know. But I'll be driving that route there on Monday and driving it back on Wednesday. We're going to be doing the show there from there. And the reason we're going out there to do the show is because I've never been to a big, huge LP like that ever in my life. I've only been to my friends' places. But also, we want to tell the story about how this SweetGrass company is not one of your corporate companies like Tweed and those other guys that are out there. This is a company that supports this town, Weimar, being that there's only 245 people there. Most of the people work for SweetGrass, and there is a hotel and a restaurant there, and there's other stuff. So we're going to go up there, and we're going to tell the elbows up, buy Canadian, buy local, support your small business people, and we're going to tell that story next week. So I hope that you tune in and check us out. Now, the SweetGrass that I'm smoking today, it has a 3.1 terpenes, and we all know that the 3.1 terpenes, that's pretty good. So what it means is it's considered a pretty high amount. So the cannabis does have a strong aroma and a flavor profile. Terpenes also interact with cannabinoids like THC and CBD, and some people believe they can influence the overall effects of the cannabis. So what I'm smoking today is Fiestas, and that is a 3.1 on the terpene scale. So damn good. All right, I'm going to do this other video here, and I'm going to do some sharing why we're doing that. So this one is the scary truth about grooming. It's about 3 minutes long. We'll see you when I come back.
When we hear the word grooming, we often think about children. But what if I told you it can also happen to communities? That's why abuse can be undetected for so long. And I've lived through that confusion myself. So I want you to hear this breakdown from consent educator Rosalia Riviera, because it really shifts how we see abuse. So let's dive in.
I think it's important that we talk about how insidious grooming is. I think in part because a lot of people understand this idea of grooming children and children being groomed, and it's still a fairly new concept that people are learning about. And I think it's great that parents are learning about it, but I think it's also important that everyone, regardless of whether you're a parent or not, understands that offenders groom communities. They groom the people around them.
Now, this is a real key point. It's not just about protecting the kids one-on-one. It's also about seeing how abusers really set us all up in the community to look the other way without knowing it. I know for me, it was almost impossible to see because the whole community was charmed. Not only have I been a victim on the other side of this, but I've also been the one who has been charmed as part of the community. Let's look at what this actually means.
I always like to point to Larry Nassar as a perfect example because he was well loved in the medical community. He was well respected in the gymnastics community. He founded an autism foundation. He was a family man. He had kids and he was married. And he's not at all what people think about when you think about an offender, right?
Hearing this example was really hard because I had to accept a really hard truth, and that is often offenders don't look like the monsters we imagine. They're often our neighbors, teachers, preachers, and people in the community. And that's why this conversation matters so much.
And I think that there's still this misconception of what an offender looks like, and there's biases and there's misplaced ideas of who an offender can be. And so it's very easy for offenders to hide in plain sight.
It is scary to hear that it's very easy for offenders to hide in plain sight. Not only do we have, disbelief in the child, but the whole community was groomed not to believe them. And this part really needs to change.
And I think that's a big part of why so much abuse continues to happen and why victims aren't believed.
So if you ever wondered why survivors aren't believed, or why abuse goes undetected for so long, it's because grooming goes beyond just one child. It shapes how a whole community can respond. Did this shift your perspective on grooming? If so, leave something in the comments and maybe your perspective can help another survivor feel less alone. If you want to keep unpacking these hard conversations with us, hit subscribe. We have more survivor stories and expert video content coming your way because no one should have to figure this out in silence. You are braving healing.
And I am definitely a survivor. And if you would like to reach out to them, here's the link to Braving Healing and that video right there. You can reach out to them, and you'll see videos with me in there also, because I was flown to Toronto for this, and I'm asked to be part of it, and I've been asked to do a lot more now, so you'll be seeing some more of me popping up, and I might be even doing a little bit of the commercials for Mr. Presler, apparently, so, or these are going to be out there as a commercial or something. I don't know what's going to be on TV. It'll probably just be an online thing, so that's what they're talking about anyway. So I really hope that this helps somebody out there today. If it just helps one person, that's perfect, because that's all we need to do is just help one more person. If somebody's just seen that and wants to talk about it, reach out to Jeffrey Presler or another lawyer like that, and see if they'll be able to help you, because I know Jeffrey Presler definitely helped me. So it is 4:16. I really hope that our guest shows up today. He's seen the link this morning, but he has not seen the message to show up at 4:19. So I'm really hoping that Silas shows up. Now, I know I do this usually before my guests come on, because I just don't know when they're not backstage. And right now I look down and it's blank down there. So I don't know. What had happened was we had a lady named Becky Cox who is going to be our guest today, and she had some scheduling problems and couldn't make it. So I put a post out asking for a guest, and Silas popped up and said, yeah, he could do that. So I just hope that he remembers, because we all smoke cannabis, right? And it could be that he might forget. So I don't know what I'll do afterwards. Well, I can always pull up. I got 20 minutes of Neil that I could throw on there in case he shows up from his Freedom Tour. I just will have to do some searching on YouTube, but it's not very hard to do. So maybe that's what I'll do, is while we're here, we'll be a little bit on top of this just in case, because we don't know if he's going to make it here or not. And I can just type this in here, or maybe it's even in my history. So let me look here. All right, I'm just scrolling through. Here we go. No, that's that one. No, that's that one. No. Jeez. I've been looking at a lot of stuff on Facebook here. All right, let's scrolling back this, and we're up to September the 2nd. There's a tribute breaking. No. StreamYard. Oh, I found it. All right. Okay. So there. Yeah. All right. So if Silas doesn't show up, we will do the Freedom Tour 2012. It's 21 minutes long. So it's now 4:18. So I don't know if he's gonna remember. I'm gonna check Messenger to see if he's seen the message yet. Oh yeah, he's definitely online, so maybe he's gonna make it. I'm gonna give him a call. Let's see if we can raise him, or I'll just type, are you still available? All right, 4:19. I got this Fiestas. Oh yes, right here, Fiestas, and my 210 timepiece. We'll just close it and we'll get it to light up again. We're still waiting. I have a green dot on his messenger, so maybe at 4:20 we'll just give him a call and maybe give him a dingle, as they say. All right. So, SweetGrass, thank you very much for this. They are supplying the 420 moment here. Well, let's put their logo back up there again. Thank you very much, SweetGrass. It is 420. Happy 420, everybody. And the guest is not here. Ah, man, this stuff is so good. I am really enjoying it. I didn't think that I would be enjoying a legally produced medicine, but this is hand trim, living soil. Everything is small business. Oh, God. Oh, here we go. Got her going. Well, I don't know if our guest is going to start. Let's give him a call. Let's see. Some people's guests, right? Oh, well. It's ringing. And there's no answer. All right. Well, like I said, we do have a backup plan. We do have a plan B. So let's go into, this, I was telling you that this stuff is so good. It's so tasty. It hits me. And like when I do a wake and bake with this stuff, it definitely hits me. So like I was saying, I was surprised that I would find illegal cannabis that's so damn good. So you guys got to check out SweetGrass. All right. Okay, let's go do this because I don't think our guest is going to make it. So I don't know. Shit happens, I guess, sometimes, right? All right, so let's do this. Freedom Tour 2012. This is Neil Magnuson on his Freedom Tour.
Enforcement people that have been talking for the last several years about the harms that are being caused in our society and to policing by the attempted prohibition of substances. And we support them in their efforts. And what this is the Freedom Tour. It's the fourth year that I've run the Freedom Tour. Starting in 2006, I did 3 years in a row where I went from Victoria to Ottawa for Remembrance Day and handed out pamphlets much like that, talking about the harms being done by prohibition and what freedom is, which is the right to do or not do whatever you want to do or don't want to do unless you're harming somebody else, and the role of government, which is to protect individuals' rights to be who they want to be and do what they want to do unless they're harming others. But the difference this year is that my handout has within it, the next page when you turn it, is a letter written by 8 current sitting mayors in British Columbia that are calling for an end to prohibition and a regulatory system.
No.
You see, substance.
What the hell? Oh, man. I don't know. I don't know what happened to my video there. Somehow I must have clicked something when I was looking at trying to talk to my my friend that was supposed to be coming. So let's just get this back up here. All right. Okay, and then we'll bring this back. Share screen. Freedom Tour. There we go. All right. Let's go back to
in our society. The government has a role to play with those in the form of regulations. And that means a whole bunch of different things. The regulations need to be the least intrusive possible to start with, but some substances are really dangerous. You can overdose fast on them. They have addictive qualities. They can screw up your brain and how you think. And with those, there's a myriad of different things you can do. Age restrictions, advertising restrictions, quantity of dose.
You're suggesting, though, that the dangerous addictive drugs, we should have the freedom and they should be legal, or because you haven't used the word marijuana yet. I just picked up on one page here.
Well, cannabis is the one that's just it's sort of separate from the harder ones because there's really not a lot of harm to society being caused by cannabis. It's not really addictive and it's not causing health problems for people. But there are those substances that are for sure. And there's a number of people that I'm not pro-drug use or abuse. Yeah. That's for sure, But I do understand the logistics of it. That when you prohibit a substance, it increases the demand, especially amongst the young people and the rebellious people.
Yeah.
It exacerbates the problems.
Forbidden fruit aspect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it exacerbates the problems to do with drug abuse because it's all underground. And in fact, some people, you know what kids are like, little kids, when they don't feel like they're free enough, they'll soil their pants right in front of their parents with a smile on their face to say,
never would have done that.
No, I didn't either. But
but those other kids,
pediatricians will tell you that's a common thing amongst kids, because that's something they have control over, and they can say, yeah, you can't stop me from doing that, can you? You know. And teenagers, we all know about them, what they're like. They seek out and destroy boundaries. And adults, I think, are even worse. That many times, if they feel like they're being oppressed, that they'll act out in ways that are very self-destructive as well, to say, see, I can do what I want to myself. So, and it just does. The prohibition does exacerbate the drug abuse issues, which they are designed to help prevent. It does not decrease the amount of people using or abusing drugs. It has the opposite effect. And of course, with these substances that have these potentials, you can put regulations on them in all different forms, from taxes and a whole bunch of others. But whenever those regulations get to that point where the black market's going to take over, they have to be scaled back slightly, just to prevent the black market, because the black market has no regulations whatsoever. They'll sell it to anybody of any age with no ID, and who knows what you're buying. And if you don't get a good deal, well, you got to have a bigger gang than that guy's got to be able to deal with it. You know what I mean? It's just got a whole bunch of problems that come with it. And of course, there's shootings to solve these things. And every time a gangster gets shot, that's at least $1 million in a police investigation for us. Yeah. And the real thing for me is, well, there's two of them. One is the amount of jobs that are available to our young people to sell drugs these days. It's just insane. You know, I mean, it's lots of money, right? It's easy money. You're cool. The drug dealers, young people think, are cooler than the police. And that's the other one that gets me so bad, is that the police get so much disrespect in our community. And their lives are at risk with all these organized criminal groups and a public that doesn't respect them the way that they should. Mm-hmm. So, you know, these are the issues. I don't have all the answers. I know what the issues are. I know what the current policies are doing and how they don't work. So that's what we're on. And that's the nature of the tour. You know, it's not so much me. In fact, it's not me at all. It's the 8 current mayors that have gotten together, the ones that feel they had some expertise on the issue, that have written their letter.
Well, their letter, though, I believe, and I haven't read the letter, but I mean, I read the media, and I was phoned and asked if I would be signatory to that.
Right.
But at that time, everything you say, I understand what you're saying. It was focused specifically on marijuana.
No, it's not. It does talk about the other substances and how we need a regulated system for those as well.
Yeah.
And especially with the attorney generals, they said the case against prohibition is now airtight. And those are really interesting words for a group of justice professionals.
Well, and of course, when all the time they were on the bench, they weren't allowed to talk. I just was at a lunch with a judge today, and I tested her with that question. And of course, I could tell by her reaction that she supported what you're talking about. But I also assumed that had to do with cannabis and not sort of cocaine.
Well, cannabis is the easy one. The other ones are much more difficult to wrap your brain around, and me too. Well, I mean, I certainly wouldn't want them for sale willy-nilly anywhere. You know, I mean, they would have to be strictly controlled. But there again, you see, those controls can be as strict as they get until a black market takes over. And then adults are going to do what adults are going to do, and adults are going to do it worse if they're told they can't do it. Yeah. That's the problem, you know. Well, and there's another problem too, sir, and that is that these prohibitions and these policies were never really designed to help people with problem substances. They were designed to protect the interests of those that want to provide other substances.
What I did,
and that's the root of it.
When I was at a meeting when the Stop the Violence BC had a meeting in Kelowna, and I didn't really know what I was being invited to go to.
Right.
I didn't know whether it was just 8 or 10 people around, but there was the Chief Health Officer for British Columbia was there. The 2 or 3 guys who were the front people, if you like, for Stop the Violence.
Probably Donald McPherson would have been there. He was the drug policy coordinator for Vancouver City for a long time, and I think he's pretty prominent. I wasn't.
I arrived about
they've got a lot of good members in that group.
David Bratzer was there too.
Oh, was he? He's an active police officer.
David from Victoria. Yes, he was there, absolutely. Quite impressed, actually.
Yeah.
And he actually, I guess, before he became a Victoria police officer, had already taken a public position on this. So he was actually becoming a policeman in Victoria, wasn't muzzled like you are if you're going in. You're saying,
right,
like, our job is enforcement.
Yeah.
You don't have an opinion.
I know.
And,
It's not very popular conversation
So
amongst
you
the
get
law enforcement
retired
people.
judges coming, on board.
And
You
most
get-
of these people are retired as well. David's a member of that.
So
group. There are
because I didn't want to make a commitment, not knowing what the meeting was about when I got there, and there were a couple of other mayors that were there. Lake Country Mayor was there. I'm not
Yeah.
sure whether Vernon was or not. He's a doctor, so he's got
the mayor in Vernon, Mr. Sawatsky.
no, that's Vernon.
Yeah, Vernon. That's what
Yeah.
you said, though, Vernon. I think.
Yeah, but Lake Country, I think.
Oh,
was
Lake
there
Country.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I didn't go to Lake Country, but I did
No, the Lake Country Mayor.
talk to the mayor from Armstrong, and
Armstrong,
they're signatory to that as well.
And
Vernon, I think
Lake Country Mayor James Baker, yeah.
Yeah.
He was at that meeting, and the mayor Penticton, but I don't see him on here.
No, he's not on that list.
Anyway,
And then, Gregor Robertson. is
So
on there.
I was phoned to see if I would be a signatory. I said, I think I could serve another purpose. In the first place, which I think you would support and agree with. I said, in the first place, it's a federal issue, but we got to take one step at a time. Local
That's
government, provincial government, because we get a lot of local politicians at our annual convention. Uniting and getting the support from the BC government, because right now I don't think Christy Clark would support this.
No, but she sure should. I know Christy, and she sure should.
She should.
Yeah.
So should the Prime Minister, but it's one step at a time. So what my philosophy was, and I said, I'm prepared to take this on alone, and that is to, in my own way, start the national dialogue
Right.
in BC by supporting Stop the Violence BC, by getting them on the agenda at the UBCM convention, which I'm now successful at. I'm not
Very
even
good.
sure
Thank
what
you,
they
sir,
know
for
this
doing
year.
that. Actually, it's been quite a little love fest for me, from Victoria to here.
Yeah.
So many of the mayors are supportive. There's just
Well,
the ones I met that are on there, but the other ones as well. And when I started doing this in 2006, it was a conversation most mayors did not want to have with me. They were very uncomfortable. But these days, it is a topic that is on the table and up for discussion. But not just that. Most mayors and most councils are on the right side of this at this time.
Here's the glitch I had. In fact, I just got a letter being done today. The mayor of Surrey, Diana Watts,
Yeah, I know her too.
started a deal. We've had one meeting, it was in Penticton, which is a mayor's congress.
Oh, yes.
Only mayors, no councillors, no regional directors or anything
Right.
like that, just the mayors. Because as it was pointed out when we were there, and I never really stopped to think about it, mayors are the only directly elected political figures in Canada. Prime Minister isn't directly elected.
That's right.
I didn't go to the ballot box and vote for the Prime Minister or
That's
against him. I voted for a guy that was going to be told when to put his hand up
Yeah.
by the person they chose to
That's
be their
right.
leader.
No, that's very
But with the
true.
mayor, it's a little different. Anyway, I guess they just wanted to make themselves feel good and exclusive.
For me, the mayors are important because you gentlemen are and ladies are the chair of the police boards in your towns.
Well, we're RCMP, so we don't have a police board per se.
So, but you
But-
do preside over something to do with
Well,
policing,
technically, I'm the employer of the police as the mayor,
right?
and the police through contract. And we, in this city, we pay $22 million a year for RCMP,
I see.
and 90% of that is paid by the local taxpayer, so that's 20 million.
Yeah. So it affects your community directly, the policing, and
Oh,
what
yeah.
their
Yeah.
priorities are and what they're doing.
Yeah,
For sure.
and our relationship's good. In fact, in the news today, I had to learn this from the media, actually. Our police, our crime statistics improved by 14% year over
Lowest since
year.
1972. I read that this morning too.
Oh, I haven't read the total
Yeah.
depth.
In
of it.
Canada, they're down. They're
Oh,
lower.
Canada's down too.
Canada's down. Yeah.
But of all communities, as a percentage, we're down
Oh, I
year over
see.
year higher than any other one.
Oh, good for you.
And so then the obvious
You
question
take
is,
credit for that.
well, I gave credit to the superintendent of the RCMP. So
I
why
see.
is that, one has to say?
Mhm.
And it's because they've started some new strategies and really, and they should be doing this in healthcare too, by the way, becoming more proactive than reactive.
Right.
What's the point of going out and trying to solve a crime that's committed? Aren't we better to actually have
Oh,
a
sir,
strategy
that's
that
why I'm here.
prevent the crime in the first place?
That's why
And
I'm here.
that is
You
kind
know,
of sick.
the AGs had their say in there with their comment about it being airtight. The Vienna Declaration is the next letter that's in there.
Oh, okay.
The United Nations went worldwide with conferences gathering in experts to find out if there was unexpected and unintended consequences of trying to prohibit drugs. And they found that they were vast and many. The disrespect for police, the increase in abuse, all of that stuff. The other letter that's next there is quotes from the 2002 Senate report. We knew all of this in 2002. Our senators looked into it. They discovered all of
Yeah,
these
that's right, yeah.
dynamics of such things.
That's right, yeah.
They said that the prohibition is causing far more damage and cost to our society than the abuse of the substance ever could. And cannabis is the lead issue here. And it is the one that's most glaring. Drugs, yeah. Yeah, there was 72% of all court cases in Canada in 2010 were drug related. That's a ridiculous statistic. Of those, the majority for cannabis, and of those, the majority for just simple possession. 50 to 80,000 people every year in Canada are given criminal records for simple possession of cannabis. So because it goes back to 2002, in my opinion, and in the opinion of some other people that support me in what I'm doing, this is a crime that's being committed against our population somewhere within our federal government at the highest level. Yeah. So I'm taking this document to every police station, and I have already from Victoria to here, and I'm filing it as a criminal formal complaint that there is a criminal conspiracy that's happening at the highest level of our federal government. They are supporting the interests of lobbyists, and that's a crime. That they are in contempt of the populace, they are abusing their power, and every dollar that they spend on chasing people around for especially cannabis is a criminal misuse of public funds.
Well, I wouldn't disagree there, but let me ask you this question. How is there a conspiracy by, like who?
By somebody at the federal level.
Well, in other words, they're endorsing
the Prime Minister's office and the Justice Minister for since 2002 at least have maintained these policies and spent Canadian taxpayer dollars knowing full well what our senators had to say. And it's 10 years later, and now we've got a whole bunch of other experts weighing in and saying the same thing. Why is this the case? Mr. Harper's not just ignorant of science and not wanting to pay attention. There's something else going on. I don't believe in coincidences when people are making a lot of money on something. And the prohibition of cannabis doesn't make any sense, but it sure makes money for a group of people.
Let me, but that would be for organized crime.
Well, not just organized crime. It makes money for the Prime Minister. He can bring in all kinds of tax dollars and spend it. And, and who knows what the lobbyists, you see, there's several different gangs involved. And I hate to use the word gang when you're talking about police, but they're kind of one of them. There's the corporate gangs that want to have their interests protected and are spending large amounts of money on lobbying to have these laws maintained. There's the criminal organized gangs that are benefiting from having the stuff prohibited. And who knows where they fit into the rest, but they're certainly making a whole bunch of money, whether they have paid lobbyists or ways to exercise their leverage, I'm not sure, but they have a lot of interest involved and they have a lot of leverage to produce if they want to do so. And certainly the police organizations, the individual law enforcement people that I talk to are just like the judge that you talk to. In their private conversations, they'll say, yeah, it's not how I wanted to be a policeman. It's not what we should be doing. But we're not here to make laws. We're just here to enforce laws. That's right. And by the way, I'm not going to say anything out loud for another 4 years yet because I still got to get to my pension. I got a family to think about, right? That's what I was told by one officer who was so enthusiastic about what I was doing, but saying, me personally, I can't say anything yet because I got 4 years to go, and I have to think about my family. Well, all these officers are thinking about their family and their mortgage payments and all the rest of it. And meanwhile, we're all paying out huge amounts of money that it's unsustainable. And the pensions is what's crippling so many countries, or cities rather, in North America, is all of these index pensions where so many people are still on the payroll.
But that aside, it's all of the crime that is as a result of people desperate for the money to buy the drugs.
That's right too. And because the price of drugs is up through the roof because of prohibition, because all these guys have to make enough money to pay for a lawyer.
A drugstore, and I wouldn't say a liquor store because you don't want to necessarily introduce them to liquor if they're not on liquor. But
that's right.
Go in and any licensed pharmacist, be a behind the counter thing, but you wouldn't need a prescription. You just go in and you buy it. Yeah. The government makes its percentage. He makes his little percentage. It's controlled.
That's it.
You probably have to sign for it and show a driver's license so you know who's buying it.
The dangerous stuff.
And if a person thinks that's a violation of their what do you call it, privacy, then don't buy it.
There'll still be a black market, supposedly there's enough for it, but
here's one of the things that somebody was telling me that sort of agreed with you, but at the same time it said, however, there's some obstacles to overcome. And the biggest, and I had not thought of it, but it's been on my mind ever since. This meeting was maybe 4 months ago, and it's had quite an impact on me in terms of, holy geez, boy, we Canadians sure know how to put our head under a rock. But anyway, it was, we can't do it alone unless the Americans do it at the same time.
I hear that all the time too.
And what I heard at that meeting, and they named the states, I'll have to get, one was definitely Washington State. The other was not California, that's in Washington. I think they were all three were in the West, but I'm not sure. Washington was one, neighbor to us. they were prepared, like on a state basis, they were prepared to kind of go with the flow once everybody's ready to swim. And then this would be maybe less than 2 months ago, I was talking to a local doctor here who's involved with this Stop the Violence thing. He takes on the medical perspective. And by the way, he sees no side effects. He said most of the things we do, including breathing, for God's sake, is more dangerous to health than cannabis.
It's all dose related. Everything is dose related.
It is, yeah, true. Yeah.
No good or bad drugs, just good and bad relationships with drugs, essentially, you know?
So I phoned this guy to tell him I was writing this letter, and which he was happy I was doing, because I promised it. He was at the meeting, I promised I would. Wanted his address so I could send him a copy of it. And he said, oh, by the way, at that meeting when it was released that there were 3 states that were coming on board, had not yet come on board, but were coming on board very close or whatever. He said that's up to 13 now. And that's over a period of 90 days, from about February, March to, what are we now, July? So
I do believe we've reached the tipping point. I do believe that the right experts are coming out and saying the right things, but you know, it's not a done deal yet, because there's still some huge interests at play here that do not want to see this end.
Well, I was trying to sort of identify that in my mind, and I don't know who those interests would be.
Well, there's the pharmaceutical companies, because cannabis is serious medicine. Prior to 1900, there was over 100 papers written in medical journals.
But now would the pharmacy companies not actually distribute it?
Sure,
but
they want monopolies.
But that would be a new product line.
Yep,
but
they're on it.
But there's no research involved.
But they can't get the monopoly on it, because people will grow it themselves.
So what? There's all kinds of generic.
I still think that's why they're scared of prohibition. They are part of the group that's spending a lot of their money on lobbyists for this. So they are there.
Yeah,
but you know, there's another one too.
Do they like it to be illegal? They got no part of that market. If, you know, Hell's Angels or something.
Well, but they want to sell you antidepressants, and they want to sell you anti-inflammatories, and they want to sell you a whole bunch of things that cannabis is good for, and not have you use cannabis. It was one of the original forces behind prohibition was the Rockefellers in their partnership with Bayer Pharmaceuticals back in 1910. They released statements from their scientists saying that herbs were kind of voodoo medicine, that you know, you couldn't really trust them, it was hard to get the proper dose. And now we were moving into the age of modern medicine, where they had properly trained doctors in white lab coats with proper pills that were the proper dosage. And what happened was, it was all about funding, because the medical institutions back in those days were all operating on funding from investors that wanted to benefit on their cures and things. And the funding all dried up for the schools for herbs, the schools for women, the schools for the medical, you know, and the Rockefellers benefited. Everybody put their money behind the Rockefellers and the new modern medicine, and away we went. So it's still in their interest. But, you know, an interesting part of this is alcohol. Alcohol was prohibited originally because the Rockefellers wanted to have a monopoly on fuel, because of Henry Ford's invention. Fuel. They funded the temperance movement that went and got alcohol made illegal because of people beating up their wives and all the problems in society. But really, it was the Rockefellers' agenda underneath that, because they wanted to have a monopoly on fuel. And Henry Ford thought people could he said, everyone in America can drive one of my cars on 1 acre of hemp, because he was all about hemp ethanol fuel. He was all about hemp for building the bodies of cars and hemp for all kinds of different things.
I've gone through his museum.
There's a picture in him in the 30s with a sledgehammer whacking the back of a car that he's made out of hemp plastic in the middle of winter. And it leaves just a tiny mark, no dint, no nothing. It's stronger than steel. It's lighter than steel. Really? Hemp is amazing. Yes. It's the best clothing material on the planet. You can make obviously plastics, and you can make compressed building materials that are amazing. It's carbon neutral. It's an amazing product. So anyway, but that was alcohol prohibition. 13 years later, they were losing their control on the sale of alcohol for fuel, the Rockefellers were, because there was illegal stills all over the countrysides. And most of that alcohol was not being drunk by the people that were making it. It was being traded to their neighbors and used by themselves for their farm vehicles and their other vehicles. And so 13 years later, they decided to once again give the temperance movement $40,000 to go to Congress and lobby to have alcohol prohibition repealed and brought into the auspices of government distribution. 1920. Well, no, 1920 is when they prohibited it.
Yeah, 1934 then, wasn't it?
No, 1933 is when they federally ended the prohibition of alcohol. It was 13 years.
And that was Neil Magnuson. And because of his Freedom Tour, we now have legal cannabis in Canada. And him and a lot of other people, myself, Remo and Donna Carroll from Weeds and a lot of other people. I can't list the whole name, all the names, because there's a lot of people. But I don't want to list a whole bunch of names and then forget somebody. So those people were just recently at my 300 show, so I can list them off easily. But there was a whole cannabis community that fought, the medical patients, myself, fought for this. And there's a lot of big people, like you heard, that have got criminal records because of simple possession for cannabis. And Neil was out there, telling the world and trying to get things changed. Sadly, he's passed away now, and he's definitely not coming back. But I'm here to carry on the show, and we can still show his videos and stuff like that. There's a whole movie out there of him also. So I just can't remember the title right now. I think it might be Still Tripping or Freedom Tour, or it could be either one of those. You might be able to look it up on YouTube. And you'll be able to watch that. We're probably going to feature it on the show one week when we have something like this happen where a guest doesn't show up, even though they said that he would be here. But like I said, we're cannabis people, and sometimes I guess we can just forget. Now, I'm the 60-year-old. He's a little bit younger, so I know I would be doing better with my memory than him. So anyway, Silas, thank you for offering to come on to the show. Sad that you couldn't make it, my friend, and maybe another time we'll be able to do this. I just don't understand what happened, but hey, this is the first, right? So we were able to do a plan B and get things worked out. We've got some more SweetGrass I can smoke right here, right? We had the winner today. We could do the announcements again. We could do that for just so you know that there's on the 20th there is the at Weeds. Okay, at Weeds, yes, here it is. Saturday the 20th, noon till 7 p.m. at Weeds from Farm Gate Store at 19038 Old Dewdney Trunk Road. They're having a glass gathering, all right, with Skullfish and Nico by Glass. So check it out. I probably, maybe I'll be there. I don't know. I usually visit the Lady Grower on Saturdays and Wednesdays, so maybe we'll be able to check that out. So. And then we also have the barbecue happening here in Mission for the homeless and for the Cannabis Substitution Program Mission. Also, I want to thank everybody. What happened to the freedom of religion and constitution? And I don't know. There's lots happening to that stuff, but this is a cannabis show, so I'm not going to get into that right now. What was I talking about before I read that? I wish you guys could tell me. We're talking about Weeds and going to Weeds, and then the family, and then the Saturday thing, I usually go and visit the Lady Grower. Yeah, I lost my train of thought on that one. Damn cannabis. I told you that Fiestas is good stuff. All right. We do have Neil's Memorial magazine memorial video still. Told you it was good. That Fiestas, man. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna play that. We were doing some announcements about the there we go. Cannabis substitution programs. Yes. So we have one on the East Coast: Vancouver, Langley, Newton, and Surrey, and Mission. And Langley just recently had a picture taken with the Langley mayor. And that Langley, we will probably soon be the very first pilot project cannabis substitution program. We're just waiting for the announcement, and then we'll have them on the show, and we'll share it out. And hopefully by sharing that out, other mayors will get on board, and we'll be able to save more people's lives. So let's go and do Neil's memorial video, and then I will be back.
Oh, wow. Welcome to the THC Show with Neil. THC stands for Truth, Hope, and Change, and we're going to hope to cover all the different latest news and stuff to do in the cannabis world. and do it in a way that gives you some hope and maybe provides some opportunity for change.
You guys want some free weed? Well, let's get this underway then.
You're live.
Ready? We're live?
You're
All
live.
right, hey. Welcome to the THC Show, everybody.
It looks like some pretty nice stuff here, Neil.
Oh yeah, have you seen the plants?
Yes, I just saw the plants. Beautiful.
Plants are awesome.
The laws against cannabis are very destructive, and they fly right in the face of what it means to be a Canadian and what it means to be in a free country. If you're not free to grow a plant and use a plant for your arthritis, pain, or to feel good or whatever you want, you're not free. There is so much oppression of our great culture here. There's so much hypocrisy and corruption in this world we're living in. And we're still gonna fight hard to get what we deserve. You deserve the right to do or not do whatever you want to do or don't want to do without any government coercion or prohibition until you interfere with somebody else. If you don't stand up for it, they'll continue to take it away from us. Your children will be a lot less free than we are, and we'll be a lot less free.
It's 4:20. My alarm didn't go off. What happened?
When you were in spiel, I couldn't interrupt.
I was waiting for that thing to go. I was kind of keeping my eye on it, you know. All right. Wow.
We really are making an impact in this community and offsetting the use of opioids. I thank everybody that's been involved and helped us get here, and I'm really looking forward to another great year. I can't thank enough all the people that helped me do this. I thank you, the viewer, for watching. It's really been great to have you along. I hope that we're able to make a difference in your life and maybe make a difference in the world somewhere. And I want you all to have as much fun as you can changing the world. From myself, Neil Magnuson, Pot TV, and the THC Show. Have as much fun as you can changing the world.
So I'm a bit of a patriot. I love my country. I hate my government. I'm scared shitless of those people. They are corrupt as could be, and they can make our lives miserable, but I love Canadians. So when it was time to help out with these pot rallies that I've been going to for 5 years, one of the first things that came to my mind is, well, we got to have a proper anthem. We need to have something that's thought-provoking, that's respectful, that's not stupid, that helps to teach people about what we're doing here. So I wrote my version of O Cannabis. So without any further ado, if you know the words, give me a hand. If you don't, that's fine. I'll sing them for you. O Cannabis.
Oh, cannabis, the sacred plant of peace. With healing powers, it helps our eyes to see. And with glowing joints, we make the point that the true north should be free. And with wise red eyes, we criticize the war against our family. God keep our staff from the police. Oh, cannabis, we stand here high and proud for this. Oh, cannabis, the sacred plant of peace. Thank you. Let's get you some marijuana.
Peace, my friend. We miss you. All right. Just a couple more things. Please share out the video. Cannabis Culture has been flagged until June of next year for showing legal cannabis that they have a license for. They showed it on the page and Facebook slap them with a restriction. So the page is not being shown to other people to be liked. So if you guys could share out the show, that would be awesome. And again, next week we are going to be on the road. Where are we going? We're going to a little place called Weimar, and we're going to go visit SweetGrass. You want to see what SweetGrass is? This is kind of a little bit of the area of where I'm going. I'm going to play their video, and we'll see some of their bud that I'm going to see, and I'm going to actually be there. So let's play this.
Our great culture.
You're live.
Ready? We're live?
Welcome to the THC Show, everybody.
Oh, sorry. Wrong video. All right. I should check these videos before I do that now. All right, I think it's this one here. Yeah, that's where we're going, and hopefully there's no snow. I'm actually going up there now because I want to avoid the snow. My car couldn't probably make it through the snow that they probably get up there. So that's where we're going to be next week. So make sure you tune in. Thank you again for sharing the show. Thank you again for watching. Thank you to everybody who supplies and supports the cannabis substitution program. Thank you to all the volunteers that go out there and save lives with cannabis right across this country. Like I said, East Coast, Newton, Surrey, Mission, Vancouver, and Burnaby. Oh, there's a lady that's starting up in Burnaby too, so I got to throw that one out there too. So that's a lot of people saving people's lives with cannabis, and you know it works because cannabis does save lives. All right, I want you all to have a great day. Finish off your day. Amen. Thank you, Scott. Go out and do something nice for someone today. They might just do something nice for someone else, and we'll all have a much better world to live in. And as my friend Neil says, have as much fun as you can changing the world. Thank you again, everybody. Make sure you give your loved ones a hug, and remember, tomorrow is never promised. It's just a word, but most of the time we make it, don't we? All right, guys, take care. See you next week from Weimar. And I'm going to be staying in that hotel that you saw there. So, yeah, this will be good. This will be good. It's going to be a good show. Make sure you tune in and share it out. Have a great week, everybody. Take care. Thanks for watching. Cheers.